Welcome to the second episode of our docuseries, the pre-production episode. Now, this is going to be one of our longer episodes, so stick with this because there's a lot of good information. What goes into pre-production is the screenwriting, the casting, the storyboarding, and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot that goes into the pre-production, and we are going to go over each of those steps with you. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking to you about screenwriting and how it relates to our film work. So a screenplay is essentially a script for any type of film. It differs from novels and traditional theater scripts in that it has sections where you can add your transitions, different shot angles, and gives more of an in-depth micromanagement of little bitty actions that take place throughout the scene. So the screenplay for work was fun because it was very, very short and it was only 2 pages long, and that was stretching it. The most difficult part about working on work, see what I did there, is that it has only about 10 seconds of dialogue. So everything else in this wonderful 2-page screenplay is action and transitions. So I tried to bulk up the amount of detail in the actions, in the scenery, and what was going on, in the camera angles, and the transitions, so that when I presented it to the team, and more importantly, Austin, who is the director, they would have a clear understanding of the general feel of this screenplay. It's important to note that screenplays very rarely stay exactly the same as they're written. Things change, environments change, timing changes, and sometimes what looks good and sounds good on paper doesn't translate well visually. So basically, a screenplay serves as a mostly solid outline of what the film is going to be. As Austin put it, he likes to throw out the script as soon as we're on location, which basically means there's gonna be some improv, someone's gonna forget a line, a bird's gonna fly through. You really just never know what to expect on a film day, so know your script, memorize your script, reference your script, but then be prepared for things to happen because that's life. But every great film began as a screenplay, and it lays the foundation for the rest of the process.
Alright, so let's talk about storyboarding. Now, storyboarding is the art of visually expressing on paper how you want to tell the story. That way you can share it with the rest of the crew and the other members that are helping make this film possible. Thus, once you get on set, things can run much more smoothly because everyone's on board and knows the direction you're planning to go with the film. So first off, when you're doing storyboards, it's nice to have your location in mind as you're planning out these shots. The second thing is you need the script. Once you get that script, what I like to do is break it down into manageable sections that you can think about and think about how you visually want to tell this story. So that's what I did. Now, work is a very short script, but I still broke it down. I broke it down into 3 different sections so that I could concentrate visually on how I wanted to tell the story. You don't have to be a great artist to be able to storyboard. Really, the idea of storyboarding is to just show other people what and how you're planning to shoot a film. So then, yeah, basically you just start to draw out and put down on paper how you're visualizing it in your mind. What's nice about it being on paper is that it's super cheap, and if you don't like it or you think you want to take the story in a different direction visually, it didn't cost you anything to put it down on paper and you can throw it away. Or you can also bring multiple different ideas to your crew or to different people and say, hey, which one do you think helps tell this story best? Storyboarding can be a very useful aspect, especially with collaborating with others and showing them how you visually want to tell your story. So that's basically it. A little short overview on what storyboarding is and what its purpose is in filmmaking.
Hey guys, this is the casting call portion of the pre-production episode. And basically what's going to happen is we will post what's called a casting call for a film on social media. And what you will do is submit a headshot through email, or you will submit a video audition because we might have a mock script for you to read. And then what happens is we will go through your headshots, your resumes, or your video audition, and then we will call you in to read for the actual film, and it will look a little something like this. Hi, welcome to Around the Reel. I am so glad that you're here for your audition. Can you state your name for me?
Yes, my name is Albert Gracia.
Albert, yes. What role are you here to audition for?
Auditioning for the mysterious man in Work.
Mysterious man. Okay. Let me see. Can you start from where he's talking on the cell phone to his daughter? Can you start reading those lines?
Yes. All right. Just go ahead and start now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, sweetie. Well, Daddy will be home soon. I've just got to finish something here at work. Yeah, I promise we'll play.
Okay, perfect. That was great. Thank you so much. Listen, if we decide that we want you to come back, we'll give you a call back and have you come back in and read with one of the actors from the script.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
So as you saw, Albert stood up there to audition for the role of the film you're going to be watching, which is entitled Work. That's how it'll go. And sometimes we have films where one of us will be reading the other part back to you as you read the lines, just so it'll help you through the audition. And if we liked your audition, we will perhaps call you back to come in again and read with the actor with whom you will be performing in the film. After that, we will call you in to do a table read before we start the filming process. That's basically what a casting call is like. We're all laid back here and we want to make it as fun as possible. So yeah, that's the casting call.
So let's talk about location scouting. So what is location scouting? Essentially, it's finding locations to film at, but it's a little bit more involved than all that, so why don't we get into it a little bit more here. Now, typically in bigger industry movies, you have a list of locations that you can film at. So you can go to different agents, say we need this type of location. They'll bring up a list of different locations that might fit the bill for what the script is calling for. And then as a location scouter, you would go out and you try to find the best location to most represent the script that you're trying to tell and best tell the story that you're trying to tell. But for a smaller independent movie, you really don't have that luxury. And a lot of what location scouting can be is just networking and making friends with people and resource filmmaking. Now, for our film Work, there was really only one location I wanted to film at, and that was our local park. I am both the director and the cinematographer on Work, and so I went out there to the park the day before the shoot, and I just looked around. I looked at all the different benches there in the park and decided which bench I wanted to film on. I decided where I wanted to put the runners to make it the most visually interesting, appealing. I looked at the different locations I could use for B-roll shots, and I really got a sense of where I wanted to place my actors and how I was going to shoot the film. Now, that doesn't mean on the day of filming that I didn't change my mind at all, nor that I didn't allow for improv or grab a couple additional shots that I wasn't planning on. But because I was out there the day before, looking around and making sure I knew where I wanted to film this stuff, I could go in on filming day with a plan of action, and that can speed up the process hugely. So it's a really good idea if you have access to the location before the actual filming day to go there with a camera, making sure you set up the shots and kind of get a rough idea of how you're wanting to film. So this has been a quick general overview on location scouting and how we do it here at Around the Reel.
So let's talk about world building. World building is basically creating the environment that your film's going to take place in. It's your props, it's your sound, it's your costumes, it's your set. It's all the little bitty things that create the world you're in. World building is my favorite personally because it's what takes a good film and makes it a great film. Basically, I'm going to break down why each of these things plays an important role and how they pertain to creating the world of work. For sets basically are the framework of the world that you're in. They can be super minimalistic, or they can be as detailed as possible. So for example, work took place in a park. You really can't get more of a detailed park setting than actually being in a park. By having it in a park, we got all of the park atmosphere that comes with it. This is different from films we'll be doing later, such as simple things that take place in a bedroom. Now, this could be an actual bedroom, or it could be a wall and a floor with a couple of decorations on it. We're going to call it a bedroom. For me, having the perfect set is one of the most important parts of world building and in pre-production in general. Moving on to costumes. Costumes can be pretty much whatever you want, but you want to make sure that they fit in with what you're filming. You really don't want 1950s period pieces in a contemporary setting. So for example, Work takes place in 2020 with regular people on a regular day, and so the costuming for that was very simple. The main character wears a suit, some other characters wear park attire, whatever that may be. So that brings us to props. Props, again, can be as simple as you want them or as detailed as you want them. If you've got food, you get to decide if you want it to be fake or if you actually want it to be edible. For Work, we kept it bare minimum as far as props. The main character, he's got a briefcase, he's got glasses, he's got a laptop. Bam, done. So that brings us to makeup. Makeup in film is very different from makeup in theater in that it's not necessarily required or required as heavily. In theater, you're usually a distance away from the audience under bright lights that wash you out, and there are other factors that make a heavy amount of makeup necessary, especially for women and even for men. In Work, the main character's a man. He really didn't need any makeup. Now, this varies greatly from something like a zombie film where you're going to need prosthetics and blood and goopy green disgustingness because it's zombies and it's not nearly as fun if they just all look like regular people. It's important to keep in mind that every film has different needs and there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to world building. World building is my area of expertise with Around the Reel, and so I'm always looking for that next step up to take a good film and make it a great film.
Hey guys, when you make a film, there are many processes that you have to go through to be able to shoot in specific locations or have certain talent/actors on your set. And one of those things is obtaining a permit for your film. Now, when you shoot in studio, that means shooting in the actual studio building that your company owns. You don't need to obtain a permit. But when you shoot on location, meaning shooting somewhere that somebody else owns, you have to obtain a permit to be able to shoot in that location. And then sometimes you have to sign a location release that allows you to be able to go in the building and shoot your film. Basically, it's having a paper trail to cover you in case of any complaints or any damage or anything like that. So it's important to obtain a permit wherever you film. Now, it's different in every state. Here, we contact our local film office, which is located in Montgomery, Alabama. The Alabama Film Office is what they're called. So when we make films in Alabama, we have to register our film that we make with them, and then we have to contact our local city government to obtain a permit to film in specific locations. And so that's what you have to go to obtain a permit, and that is what is needed when you shoot a film. So there's a little bit of red tape. But then you also have to sign talent release forms, a release form for a minor 17 and under. And if you would like more information, you can easily just go online and Google how to obtain a permit or what all forms do I need to shoot a film. And so I hope that this gives you a little bit of clarification on the red tape side of things on how we shoot our films.
So if you made it this far, now you know a little bit about pre-production. Stay tuned in the next episode where we get to making the film in production. So if you have any questions or you want to join us on the set, hit us up because we're always looking for new people to work with, and we hope you'll join us in our next production.